it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Have a good one.
Ciao.
Ciao. Keep it Ginchiest. The first thing you might wonder is, well, what is their disability?
I would rather get it out of the way first. Yeah, I got traumatic brain injury instead of them just assuming I didn't. And look this way because I am CP or whatever.
So you would prefer that it be out in the open?
Yes.
And I differ, because I think that you need to earn the trust of the person that you're asking. It can be a very personal question, and it can be difficult for people to talk about it. And so I come from the point of view that I would be offended if someone were to ask me outright, for meeting me for the first time, hey, what's your disability? Or why are you in this thing? That's my personal opinion. So Dan and I, we have two different ones. For the first one, Dan says, all right, fine, you can ask me. I say, no, I would rather you get to know me. Don't ask me off the bat. When I think that someone has a developmental disability, they might talk patronizingly to that person, talk as if they were a little child or incompetent. And whether that person has a developmental disability or not, no one would want to be spoken to with that tone or in that way. This also goes without saying, but we're going to say it anyway, that having some sort of visual disability doesn't also mean that the person can't hear well, understand well. So there's no need to change the way in which you interact with a person who has a disability.
I hate when we go out for a walk or to run errands, and person says, better speed up, she's catching up, or go faster, she's leaving you behind.
What about, can I get a ride?
Yeah.
comments about the person's equipment, whether that be a power wheelchair, a walker, a crutch. But we get this a lot, I think, because of the power wheelchair part. People will just think that they're being funny. I've never really thought it was funny to call out my essential equipment. It's like calling out someone's legs and being like, whoa, those legs sure can move. It just doesn't make sense to me, but it also highlights the difference that the person's noticing. The implicit pity smile. Can you do it, Dan?
No.
It's the one, I've even caught myself doing this, and I can't believe I do this. But there's something about passing people on the street, and when you recognize that they have some sort of physical impairment, there's this like weird pity smile. It's like eyes cast down, the lips kind of come up over the lips. You know, I'm being nice, but I really feel bad for you. And I don't know even if it's conscious anymore, because certainly if it's infiltrated my routine and I find myself doing it, then it's become unconscious. But it implies that there's this negative association of having a disability that, oh, you're worse off than I am, and I'm acknowledging that, and I'm sorry about that. It doesn't have to be that way, folks. It could just simply be a genuine smile of warmth and welcome, and say, you know, hey, fellow human, how's it going? That would be much more preferred. So this one I struggle with, because people have told me really wonderful things about my appearance. People have said to me, oh wow, you're so beautiful, which is really quite wow. Thank you. But they also say it within the context of, you're so beautiful for a girl in a wheelchair. Setting it in that way highlights again the disability and makes the differences more apparent. It's hard to give people compliments that are pure, especially when it comes to people that might look different from you, and that might be without the realm of disability, race, heritage, what have you. If you can say that someone's beautiful and end it there, then fine. Dan gets a lot, your eyes are so beautiful, and they are. They are.
Oh.
But what my worry is that they're really doing it with this lens of, here, I'm going to give you a compliment to feel better about yourself, because you really shouldn't, because you're so different and odd looking. It's a very tricky area, and if you're really just trying to be considerate and kind, just don't even go there. Now, this is when you meet someone that you may notice has a speech impairment. Now, Dan can talk about a particular instance where someone has met him for the first time and said this.
I go, hi, how's it going? Okay, let me put on my listening glasses. Exacerbating or pointing out, you have a speech impediment. I need to listen to you.
heard something similar to this, but it's just, why is listening to someone who has a speech impairment something that you have to put special imaginary, like, the whole thing is ludicrous. It's, again, folks, it's
Demeaning.
It's demeaning. If you see someone in this type of equipment that has them seated, you could, if you'd like, kneel down if you wanted to strike up a conversation with them, so that way you're more at the same eye level as they are. If they're pulled up beside a bench, you could just sit down before you say hello and ask them about their day. I'm not sure if other people who are wheelchair users feel differently. I appreciate it because I really don't like to stare up at people for long periods of time if we're talking. But if you're passing on the street a person in a wheelchair, you don't have to, of course, kneel down before you just say hello. But if you want to strike up a conversation and gasp, you find the other person attractive and maybe you want to ask them out, or, ask them about what they enjoy and what movie they've seen recently, what have you. You may want to try this approach. Kneel down, get to their eye level. It'll make, I think, most people feel welcomed, and it's a very considerate thing to do. This one, I think, will be very useful to the Ginchiest community because you all are Ginchiest. You're wonderful. And of course, you may be wondering, well, Dan, how then would we be able to offer some help? I mean, is that going to be rude? Like, what do we do? Offering help can be wonderful and it's a lovely gesture to do. How you do it is, to me, an indication of whether I'm going to accept the help. I think that when people approach me to offer help, they offer it first. They don't just automatically do it. Though sometimes people who just automatically open up the door, I also appreciate, and they didn't ask me beforehand, because we're trying to get through our day and most doors are not automatic doors, and that's really, really helpful. But for something such as, perhaps if it's something where the chair is having a hard time getting over a curb, when people just grab the chair and push it in certain ways, that could be a problem, because if you just do it without asking the person in the chair, then you could damage the equipment, you could hurt the person. So I think that it's always a good thing to ask beforehand. Say, may I help you? That is being really considerate, and the gesture is very much appreciated. So I think, in essence, what this all comes down to, these 8 points, is that anything that highlights or singles out the disability that you see in the other person, because it puts the person on the spot and it can make them very uncomfortable. When you meet a person, any person, for the first time, you really just want to convey warmth, welcome, like a sense of welcoming. And how would we do that, Dan? Let's demonstrate. How would we meet each other for the first time? I think we're gonna start. Hi, how's it going?
Hey.
That's it? You're not gonna ask me how I am back?
Yeah.
Dan's being the typical rude person.
It's the way of the jungle.
Jungle.
A concrete jungle.
No.